So here's a fun fact. There's only 2 petrified forests east of the Mississippi that you can visit. Now one's in New York State, and the other, of all places, is right here in Mississippi. This is located in the small town of Flora, Mississippi, and it's about 20 minutes northwest of Jackson, Mississippi. I've passed by this place at least 30 times and I've never got to stop. Well, I add it to my to-do list, and then I realized they have camping here. So today, I'm going to be camping in a petrified forest. So let's take a look here at the primitive campgrounds. This is my campground, number 12. And I am standing right here on my car, right next to the road. It's got an old fire pit, which you don't use. Garbage can. Got a tent set up. New fire pit and a picnic table, which is kind of on its last leg. Now, if you can't really notice, here on the left and right and back side is a levee or a dip. I guess it's for drainage, something like that. So I was kind of limited on where I could put my tent at. Now the ground has a lot of rocks in it, so I'm glad I brought my better tent stakes. Now there is 4 primitive sites here. Sites 12, 13, and 14. Sites 1 through 11 are the RV campgrounds that have 30, 40, 50 amp hookups, power and water, and I think they have sewage. Now the tent sites have 30 amp power and water, so that's pretty handy. It only cost me $12, but here's the thing with that campsite. Here's 13, 14, and 15. It's kind of hard to get to any one of these campsites because you'll be right on top of somebody else. Now I guess these people claimed 15. There's 15 over there and 13 over there, so there's not a lot of room in the primitive sites the way it's set up. But anyways, something kind of cool outside the primitive area. The old Central Gulf caboose. That's something you don't see every day. Not too often at all. It's still on railroad tracks. I wonder if one time a train came through here. Pretty interesting. So here's the road that you take if you're going towards the primitive side. And off to the left here is the road that takes you around to the RV sites. It just makes one big loop. But right outside of it is a shower house, and that's included with your stay here at the campgrounds. And outside the campgrounds is the gift shop and the entrance to the Petrified Forest. Now the tent cap, it cost me $12.84 after taxes. That includes power and water and shower. And the RVs, I think it's $22 plus tax. Get you a look right here of the gift shop and entrance to the Petrified Forest. We'll take a look at that tomorrow morning. So I got a new little piece of gear here. This is the Ozark Trail zipper cot. Steel frame, folding design, zips, unlocks, that sort of thing. Has a 300-pound weight capacity. Now, I've been watching this at Walmart, and they moved it to the clearance section here a couple weeks ago. It never went on clearance. Well, when I was in there last night getting some groceries for the day's trip, they still had in the clearance section. They had one left, so I went over and got somebody to scan it, and it was on sale for $22.50. Regularly it was $45, I think it was, so it was half off of that. So I'm going to give it a try and see how it does tonight. Alright, so I got it set up and everything, and it didn't take long at all, less than 5 minutes if even that. It does come with a little carrying case that has instructions and a nice little strap if you need to carry it like that. Kind of a canvas type material. The material itself is kind of canvas too. I think it's canvas. It's got a pretty heavy duty zipper, and what you do is just basically unfold the sides and then fold it that way and zip it up. It has a little strap there, but yeah, I think this is going to do well, and let's just hope it fits in my tent. Well, if it would have been an inch bigger, it would have not made it inside this tent. It was almost like it was meant to be, so I think this is going to work out quite well. It gets me up off the ground about 3-4 inches, and I might just use my blanket tonight. It's supposed to get down to the upper 60s, maybe mid 60s, but we're gonna find out. So I think I'm gonna like this. I got another piece of gear that I got that's gonna go along nicely with this. And this is the other piece of gear that I got. My loving other half got me this camp pillow. She noticed that I forgot my pillow last trip, and got this for me here. I've already pulled it out once. It folds down fairly well in this bag. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, but let's see here. Let me just get back with you. All right, so when we say a stuff sack, it is definitely a stuff sack, but the pillow size, if you can read there, is 18 by 12. Not as big as the pillows, but hey, I don't have a big head. It kind of coincides with the decor of the cot, so I think it's going to do well. I'll probably just use my get out gear, fluffy blanket. I think that's going to be just enough for tonight. And I might put my fan in here, maybe put it over there in the corner like I did last time, put on that box, and it'll be a good evening, I think. So this afternoon for dinner, I'm going to try something I've never done before, even at the house. I have T-bone steak and eggs for dinner. I've always gone out for steak and eggs or steaks, never cooked them at the house. I figured, why not let the professionals do it? So I got me some oil heating up here. And I forgot the butter, but I got some garlic, salt, and pepper. I'm going to try to cook me a T-bone steak and see how it goes. Well, I'm no Chef Boyardee or even Julia Child. That right there is going to make it happen. I think I did pretty good. Alright, so I made me a happy plate. That was pretty good. 1 pound T-bone steak, a couple of eggs over easy. I'm heading down here to the shower house, check out the restrooms. Little squirrel over there. But yeah. Sit back and relax. Have me an adult beverage here in a little bit. Enjoy the rest of my evening. Well, it's about 6:30 in the evening. I think I'm the only person here. There was a guy there. He just left out. I think there's a car back for the woods there. There's one spot over there. My neighbor came and left. I think he probably went to Olive Garden to go get something to eat. Only thing left is me and whatever's in that hole right there. That ought to be interesting to see. Sitting here looking at this old picnic table. And it got me thinking that I need to get me a foldable table. Maybe even make one. I don't know. So I'm gonna look into that. But until then, let's sit back, enjoy the rest of the evening, watch the sunset, and the squirrels playing off in the trees. Well, it's about 7:30. It's getting a little dark out here. The old solar lights just kicked on. They got a good full day's worth of charging, so they ought to do pretty good tonight. Last time I forgot to charge them up, so anyways, kind of looking at this book here I got called Roughing It Easy. It's a kind of a camping handbook almost. that was written in the 70s. Has ways to make camp and cooking and fire and shelters and all kinds of good stuff. Got this from an acquaintance of mine named Pink. He was at the Blackie Thomas's gathering this spring, and he had a whole milk crate full of camping and survival and bushcraft books, just handing them out to anybody who wanted a book. And I'm not going to turn down a good book, I guess, informational book. But yeah, thought I was going to get lucky and not have a street light out here, but just over there you can see there's a street light. But I don't think it's bright as the one from like the one last trip I had. But just sitting back reading my book, enjoying my step 4, because real men only do step 4, if you know what I mean. Got my headlamp ready to go. Pretty quiet out here. Might get to see some animals. I don't know. Pretty far out in the woods. Got some residential areas sporadic out here on the way out here, but yeah, it's a pretty good patch of woods we're in. Squirrels are laid down for the evening, so I'm just waiting on Sasquatch. We'll see. But I'm going to sit back and put my headlamp on, kind of read through this book a little bit. Might call tonight. If I don't see y'all before then, catch y'all in the morning. Good morning. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I got to sleep in just a little bit. Now, it's been a long time since I slept on a cot. So it took a little bit getting used to. It's a little bit more firmer than what I usually sleep on, but I'm going to keep it. Didn't see any animals last night. Well, I did see a raccoon. I figured he was coming to raid the trash can, but nah, he didn't come by. He just kept on going down the road. But anyways, I'm gonna get up, get a little washed up a little bit, get some breakfast going, some coffee going, hang out around camp for a little while, clean up camp, and then we're going to go down there and look at the Petrified Forest. It'll be kind of interesting, and then we're going to head on back to the house. Let's get to it. Alright, got me some water going, more than I need for coffee, because once I get it coffee made, I'll use that with a washcloth, kind of wash me off a little bit. Coffee this week, we're going to go with the Black Rifle Coffee Company, Just Black. There's 8 little pouches in there, cost right at $9. Now I was going to go get a Starbucks one. It was a dark roast. I like the little tin that came in, but I went ahead and go with the Black Rifle. And I got some corned beef hash heating up. A lot of people say that stuff's dog food. Well, I grew up on this dog food and I happen to like it, so no sense stopping now. So this right here is probably my most favorite breakfast that I cook in the house. Coffee's not bad, actually. It's pretty good. I like that better than the Folgers I've been bringing. So now it's a kind of tough decision because I got a full can of that Folgers. I don't want to waste it, but that coffee's really good. So just about done with the corned beef hash. Eggs about done. I already got one egg on the plate. Be a good breakfast. That's pretty overcast. It's supposed to be a little chance of rain this afternoon. So it's time to clean up camp. Get the car loaded up. Head over to the Petrified Forest, which is actually right through those woods there. Over the river and through the woods. To the Petrified Forest we go. The thing about the Petrified Forest, there's probably more of it in these hills and on the grounds I'm walking on that just hasn't been discovered yet. So that's why I said I was camping in a Petrified Forest. Alright, got camp all broke down. Good old leave no trace. I've actually picked up a little trash that was left around from other campers. The humidity is risen substantially in the last hour or so. The sun hasn't come out to break these clouds up, so that rain's coming. So we're going to jump in the car here and head over to the Petrified Forest and give it a look. Alright, so right after I filmed that last clip, I get in my car, and as you can tell, it started raining. Checked the radar, got one little rain shower coming over, and then there's a gap in it, and then comes some little bit worse rain. So I'm gonna kind of wait it out right here at the campsite. Once it clears up, I'm going to try to get over there into the Petrified Forest, do it before the bad rain showers come in. As you can tell, the rain is starting to pick up a little bit now, so see how well this goes. Alright, so once you go for the little gift shop, there's a bunch of different rocks and minerals. We'll look at that here in a little bit. Come up to this log here. It says this log weighs 1,685 pounds and cut to show the growth rings. That's pretty cool. Just a big rock. Or tree, I guess you'd say. I don't know. Got some other big pieces over here. And here's a big slab of a sequoia from California, cut in 1960s, approximately 1,018 years old. And you can tell it has the years of the growth rings on it, just about up until it was cut down. You can see what this tree went through. Pretty cool. Now you get this little trail guide that has what each stop is and tells you about what you're looking at, so you're not just kind of guessing, which is pretty handy. It was $5 for me to do the trail. I guess if you stay on the campsite, you get a little bit of discount, which is pretty nice. Nice little concrete path here. Seems pretty clean and well taken care of, let's just say. And you come up here to stop number 2. This little log here on the ground, it says this log is a section entire heart was decayed, leaving only outer shell of woody tissue be replaced by minerals, thus change the stone. So that's how petrified wood becomes. The heart of the tree, the insides of the tree goes away, rots away, and minerals are deposited into the tree, basically kind of making like a and it's petrified wood, but a how I could say this, almost like a taxidermy, where they take the insides out and replace it with something else. So pretty interesting so far. Everywhere you look, in little nooks and crannies. There's one out that way. But kind of peaceful out here too. Now I don't know if you can tell this. If you look right up in this area here, that is a ridge line. We're basically in a bowl. We started back right through there. The trail just kind of meanders through the bowl here. Pretty interesting. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but if you've never seen petrified wood and its natural state, it's definitely pretty interesting. Especially seeing where it's at. I mean, you don't think of petrified forests and rocks when you think about Mississippi, so it's kind of one of those oddities of the roadside. This park was opened in 1965, I believe, and in 1966 it was a national natural landmark. So I'm going to continue on the trail here and take a look at the petrified wood. Now this piece has been dubbed the frog log because it kind of looks like a frog. Now don't believe these trees are originally from this area. I believe it was washed down through a prehistoric river, and this is just where they ended up at through log jams and so on and so forth. And this is where their final resting place before they became petrified wood. Now this log right here kind of resembles a park bench. I'm here by myself, so it'd be kind of hard to get me a selfie with it. Just interesting how the erosion over the years has exposed more and more of these petrified logs. There's no telling how much is even left in the area that we can't see yet. I'm not sure if you can tell or hear that, but I am between the rain clouds, so I don't want to rush through this because it's pretty cool, but I don't want to get soaking wet at the back of this trail. So here's another look here at the bottom of this hill where it's a big ravine. You can kind of tell this was kind of like a riverbed, prehistoric riverbed, where the logs just got washed away and washed downstream, and this is where they ended up at. Now this section right here is not particularly handicap accessible, but there is a way back to the gift shop where you can be. So looking at the colors of this piece right here, it's just cool how you have like some oranges, gold, some green, some of that is lichens, which is like a moss, and you get like a white, and there's some grays in there. It's just interesting how the minerals combined and hardened up to make this petrified wood. Now this tree looks like it has bark on it almost, but according to the trail guide, it's not. The bark was actually worn off, where moisture gets in between the bark and the heart of the tree, and the freeze basically pops off the bark, similar to like frost heave, I guess you'd say, for you northern people that understand what frost heave is. Kind of wonder how old these trees were when they left their original spot. These trees are millions of years old now, supposedly. How old were they when they first started growing, or how long ago was that? So it's kind of one of those weird or interesting acts of nature. I'm not a geologist, but I can definitely appreciate what this is and how it became here. Here's something pretty interesting. It says these trees were bent during an ice storm back in 1989. You can see the tops of them were bent over from the sheer weight of the ice. Now this trail has about 26 points of interest. And they also have some markings that tell you about current trees in here. But with the rain that's coming, and it's actually drizzling right now, I'm gonna have to move a little bit quicker through here as I'm at stop number 21 out of 26. So hopefully I can get done with this before it rains too bad on me. Should have done this yesterday when I got to camp. It's just cool. There's this randomly placed petrified wood. There's no telling how much is in here that we can't see. This is kind of overlooking the main area, I guess. You can tell they got a nice little trail. It's just interesting, the dips and hills and washouts. And I read somewhere that some of these hills about 140 years ago are about 60 foot taller. But with erosion, they washed down to what they are now. And that's where the petrified wood was found after being eroded away for hundreds of years. As you can tell, that little valley right there. Pretty interesting place. Definitely wouldn't expect to see this in Mississippi. I'm glad I've stopped by here. Now this place opened in the mid-60s. I bet you it was a pretty good hit. If we had the internet back then, think of how much advertising could have been done for this park. More people would have definitely known about it and gone and seen it way before the interstates came through Jackson and around this area. This area is kind of bypassed by I-20. I bet back in the day it was pretty popular. It's still popular today, but probably not as popular as it was then. Now it's Sunday morning, and like I said, it's raining. There's at least 5 or 6 cars in the parking lot, so still a pretty good time. This here is a group of petrified logs identified as Flora Silon. There's no living counterpart. So this is an extinct tree that is now petrified. And right after that, the trail leads you back to the gift shop area where they have the they call it gem mining. You get a bucket of sand and there's rocks in it and you pan for rocks. The kids love it. I can't tell you how much money I spent on this stuff with my daughter. I think I'm going to bring them back up here, I don't know, next year or so. I think it'd be pretty interesting for them to see. But go back into the gift shop, the museum here, and show you what they got in there. So just before you go into the gift shop and the museum and things, they have these 3 stone fence posts. And if you look, there's fossils in those fence posts. So when you walk into the museum part, there is fossilized wood from the United States, from all around the world. Even rare green petrified wood. Some of the wood was petrified by quartz. And if you ever seen Jurassic Park, you know what that is. There's fossilized plants, fossilized animals, such as this turtle here, and leaves. Trilobites. Lobsters and shrimp. Sand dollars. Various fish. Here's some dinosaur tracks where a dinosaur walked. That's pretty neat. And even now, this is really cool. This is bones from a mastodon that was found about 9 miles away from here. The bones. So that's pretty cool. And there's some Mississippi artifacts of some arrowheads. There's pottery, things of that sort. Some obsidian and lava. This is a pretty cool museum. Here's some more Mississippi fossils. Fossilized camel jawbone. Never would have thought there had been camels in Mississippi. There's coral. Dinosaur vertebrae. Very interesting. Here's more petrified wood from Mississippi. And fossilized quartz wood of various colors and shapes. There's even some different types of zeolites, kind of like a geode, I believe. And then they have pyrite, which is fool's gold. Other geodes. And here's when they refine those rocks down. You can make jewelry. And here's a map of petrified wood and where they found it at in Mississippi throughout the years. Now if you look, that darker spot in this area, that was the Mississippi River back then. It's changed its course many a times over the years. But they've even found fossilized or petrified wood on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. That's quite interesting. Very interesting. This is the gift shop. It has many, many rocks and minerals and fossils that you can purchase. I was not expecting this much to be in here, to be honest with you. You even have shark's teeth. And there's some more More valuable stuff behind the cage glass doors. So this is an area that has, wow. I'm not sure how well this is going to pick up, but these are glowing iridescence. Wow. It's pretty cool how they glow in the black light. That's a cool little feature there. So the Mississippi Petrified Forest was pretty interesting. The rock and mineral and petrified wood shop was probably one of the biggest I've seen in a while, and actually surprised me of how much they had in there, and everything was pretty affordable. I got some earrings for my daughter, and I got actually a piece of Mississippi petrified wood, a couple postcards, that sort of thing. Overall, I enjoyed my stay here. Campground was, it was okay. The amenities were nice. It was a little lacking in space where I was at, which I can understand. The price was right though, I can't complain about that. But overall, even the Petrified Forest trail for the woods was pretty cool. So if you're ever in the area outside Jackson, you got about an hour or so to spend, head on over here to the Mississippi Petrified Forest and give it a look. I recommend it. Let me get out of this rain. I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time.